Welcome back, folks. We're here with your game 2. Rambozos are up 1. Acceleration fighting to bring it to a game 3. First band's going to be Noir. We'll see how the rest of the bands go. So, judging from what we saw game 1, Cret, what did you like? What do you want to see? What do you think Rambozos' keepers are going to be, per se?
Ra is such a great pick for them. Vimana is a great pick for them. I loved what I saw out of the jungle. I think when Grishank can set up a Duro,
Yes.
magic happens. Freya's going to be banned away, so he's going to have to find a different way to set up a Duro. Geb for Chris Pocket is, of course, something to keep. Chris Pocket played that Geb so well. His stone shields were on point, and I really like what I saw. That said, okay, so just looking a little bit more abstractly, you've got two storylines here. You've got the Rambozos, who have been in the finals all three, no, not all 3 weeks. There were 1 week where they didn't make the finals, but they've always been biting at the heels of Vicious and Delicious. And now, if they beat Acceleration 2-0, they get revenge by proxy, right? It's like, we beat the team that beats you. That counts as beating you. Kind of. On the other hand, it's the team that forms, goes into the Challengers Cup week 4, wins the whole thing. Like, two really dynamic stories. Loki, that's gonna be Grishank, I think. And both Meerkat and Grishank have good Lokis. I'm just betting on Grishank's because that's kind of his god.
Interesting. That's pretty much the opposite of the playstyle we saw last game, as we see Zhang Kui stuck in there. We talked about it just now. How you said Grishank setting things up for Aduro is really powerful. That was really important. Top damage went to Uller in the last game, but I think the game was won by the rest, honestly, the entire rest of the team. Uller didn't play poorly, but Freya banishes into Ra ult happened more often than not. Good spatial awareness by the rest of the team. So I like when Grishank is there to set up, and I like when Aduro can feed off of that. And I think that's a really good push and pull. Grishank, as you said, that Loki is his god. Of course, I'm excited to see that, but we'll see how the mindset shift, if Loki actually does go to the jungle, we'll see how the mindset shift actually works, because here it's now my job is to kill rather than I'll kill if Aduro doesn't. So it's an interesting thought process and different from game 1. Can they do it? I guess we'll find out.
Well, I mean, the other thing is I'm basing that off of what I've seen of Grishank, which is primarily in high-level rank play, where he will play Loki. So, sort of similar to Lasses on that first wave of Loki players coming in and actually doing stuff. And if you recall, Loki was considered to be one of the worst gods in the game until he started getting picked up. And part of that did have to do with the rebalancing patch for Warriors. Speaking of Warriors, Hercules, probably in that solo lane, definitely up Oddtune's alley. He's very much a warrior player. And Hercules is the kind of god where, out of all the warriors, he's able to snowball a lane the most effectively. Because if you get ahead, you can just stand in front of the enemy creeps and be like, all right, if you try and clear, I'm gonna pull you. And you're gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, Hercules definitely is a little bit difficult to how do the pros call it? Confirm. The damage is hard to confirm, so he doesn't see a lot of play. Recently, mitigate wounds, his signature factor is a little bit off. They've nerfed it, rather, not a little bit off. They've nerfed it a little bit. Still potent. Still good at what he does, which is displacement. So I like the Hercules pick. I really like the Neath pick. So does our production staff. Neath or Riot is one of the catchphrases of our Assault Squad over here. Realistically, though, on a serious note, really like the Neath play. Let's talk about it very briefly. Jungle used to set up for Aduro.
Sure.
Now we have a setup from Neath. It's just a change. It's just a change of the setup guy. And I really like it because Rambozos work very well with a setup man.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be really, really good on them. We are going to be seeing Loki in the jungle for sure. And okay, so the thing about Neath is she's good against Rom because she's pretty safe in lane. She primarily is based around her abilities, and when is doing another carry, we'll use her to equalize the damage through the attack speed slow, which can be very, very nice. I think Neath has a lot more outplay potential than certain people are tapping into. The biggest thing about Neath is her backflip is one of the best escapes there is in terms of hunter jumps, because it slows people when you leave. So let's say
easy to predict, but it does give a slow.
Right. And so you're dueling someone, let's say All right, let's compare Rom to Neith. You're dueling Zapman on Apollo, and you're hitting him. You're like, man, he's winning. I gotta get out. So for Rom, you roll away. For Neith, you backflip away. You can both do that without turning around. But as Rom, he dashes after you, and he's maintained the same spacing.
Right.
When you're Neith, you slow him, so you get effectively further away, which can be powerful. In general, she just has a lot of tools, which is cool. She's not as high damage as other hunters because she doesn't have a steroid at all.
Yeah, Neith is the setup, the support hunter, which is kind of an oxymoron, but she's the support hunter. That's the point that I brought with Loki, who we are going to see in the jungle on Grishank. We drove the point home how much Grishank set up. Now we have the Paradox to set up. Aduro's going to be on Agni, so we're going to have a decent amount of burst come out there. That'll be interesting. And of course, Geb, no real question, he'll be on Chris Pocket in the support role. So very interesting stuff. On the other side, Collateral is going to be playing Athena one more time, and Ra this time is going to go to Radio Mist. So interesting, some keepers on both teams, but honestly, a much different mindset from both of these teams this time around, sort of switching the jobs around because of the gods. We'll see how they actually work, if Rambozos will clear this up and win today, or if Acceleration is going to bring it to a Game 3. Stay tuned for Game 2 of your North American Challenger Cup Finals, Week 4. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 2 of your North American Challenger Cup Finals. My name is F. Joined here by Kret. We're going to take a look at Rambozos in the blue versus Acceleration in the red. Rambozos took Game 1 rather confidently, so it's up to Acceleration to stretch this out to 3 games, or let Rambozos take it right now.
Hey, second place ain't bad. 2 teams go to the wild card, and 2 teams have a shot at making it all the way to Worlds. Challengers Cup has some big stakes and honestly pretty big money on the line too. It's a $1,000 prize pool split across the top 3 places. You know, after that last game, I feel like it was very much decided by the core. That's mid, jungle, and support versus mid, jungle, and support. This game, I think that's going to be another big factor. What are your thoughts on the matchup between these 2 teams?
Well, you take a look at Rambozos real quick, Kret, and the mid-jungle support core is very prominent here. You have Paradox, who has complete global setup ability, if you will, with the ultimate World Weaver. So that's going to be a core of a lot of the stuff. And Loki, who's a character that, if he gets ahead, big if, but if he gets ahead, will absolutely just ruin certain lanes' days completely. And take a look over on the Acceleration side. Athena's very big. Jelly on the Bastet is pretty impactful, whereas Radio Mist on the Ra, I feel like Ra 4 times out of 5 defaults to a support healer. Sure. And once in a while he gets ahead and becomes a burst mage. So I think Rambozos, so I think Rambozos have a stronger core. It's up to Acceleration to mold their core into a successful core.
Yeah, I mean, I think Radio Mist could definitely channel Boosh and make it happen. Aduro certainly did it last game, and Radio Mist's performance wasn't too bad. It was just sort of synergy across the line and finding picks on the side of the Rambozos that did so much for them. But Aduro's already taking aggressive position in lane and seems to be doing pretty well. In the dual lane, though, Chris Pocket is down to just 100 health. Will have to hog minions. Hits level 2. That could give him the rollout. Stone Shield used defensively will be rolling out, able to get back into the creeps. Well played, but that's a lot of damage coming out. Acceleration has massive control in this duo lane. Famous hate.
A lot of poke coming out. I really just, I don't want to sound too much like I'm on Chris Pocket's side, but I love his decision to go back into the tower and stay in lane. It would be a lot of players would have just gone into the jungle, but Chris Pocket needs the experience. Only level 2. Both players in this lane need the experience. They're going to stick it out. Gets behind the minions. Deals it perfectly. So again, good attention to detail coming out from Chris Pocket on Rambozos. Sure.
I mean, that said, we have to mention that you can't give Chris Pocket too much credit because that shouldn't have happened in the first place. Like,
of course. You know, famous hate. You know that he came out on top. Collateral as well. Good setup from Collateral. But when you're in that awkward situation, how do you react? I like to judge players based on their reaction to the bad rather than their anticipation of the good. I find that's a more honest approach.
And hey, everyone makes mistakes. In the solo lane, Oddtunes is going to be... yeah, that's true. I've seen your Smite King stream. So Oddtunes is actually going to land a pull on Meerkat, but not land a driving strike. He's going to be going for a rank 1 talisman, so probably building a Storm of Gaia. Big gank on a Chris Pocket, though. Down to just 200 health. Can he get dove out? Snipe radio missed. I think he could be Boosh in this game.
And this is the situation that we're talking about. If Ra gets ahead, he could become a mage just like any of the rest. And that is going to definitely help. He lost out on 1 creep worth of experience and gold right here. Duro playing this wave very, very intelligently. But getting that kill is going to be good for him. Duro gets a good stun, gets a good flame wave. Basic attacks galore, but no meteors available for him. So Duro, 2,400 gold, and Radio Mist, 2,800. With that kill, it's going to put him 400 ahead.
Now in the middle lane, Grishank has showed up. We'll just get some experience, and honestly, a big part of low-key jungle at this point in the game is taxing and being rotationally ambiguous. Grishank may or may not be in mid lane as far as Acceleration know. They're going to be healing up under tower, and yeah, First Blood did a lot. They're going to need to keep that rolling. Looks like mid camps will be traded even core against core, and not going to go for the engagement.
Neath heading back into lane, taking a look at this Hunter matchup that we watched so much last game. Famous Hate, level 5, 2,600 on the side of Rambozos. Paradox, level 5, 2,600, looking very, very even. Famous Hate not freezing this wave, just actually pushing it. Wants to get that lane pressure more so than the experience gain. Famous Hate about a quarter of a level, it looks like, above the Paradox. We'll see after the next wave if it's truly a quarter or a half. But either way, a slight lead going the way of Famous Hate. While middle lane, lots of push on a Radio Mist. And he might actually make this 2-man taunt pay.
Well, Grishank in a lot of trouble. Shield Wall, Collateral gets a kill with the reach. And now it's 2-0. Acceleration's looking good in this game. And, you know, it might be a 2-1 series. 2-0, the Dream is on shaky legs right now. It's early.
4
but
minutes
it's also
in, there's a
lead.
lot of Smite to be played just yet. We're 420 at the moment, 700 gold leading for Acceleration, and we really don't even call it a lead until that number becomes a lot higher.
At this point in the game, it can start to mean something because it could be an item on a player or half an item. It might be getting a stack earlier. So there are times when a small amount of gold can be more than it seems, but it's not the start that Rambozos got last game.
Very, very, very true. Solo lane, Meerkat and Oddtunes just kind of literally jumping around, Kret. We say this a lot with the physical bruisers, that solo lane doesn't really do anything. They just smack each other. Well, if there is a mage bruiser, it is Zhang Kui. Zhang Kui is the tankier mage, and these two players aren't really going to get much out of each other. A couple of driving strikes, a couple of exposed demons and cards just sort of being traded. Nothing really impactful in the solo lane just yet.
Oddtunes is doing a pretty good job of lane control, but he's decided he needs to go into Emerald Talisman, rank 2 Gaia, in order to stay strong in the lane, and that means that his damage is going to suffer a little bit. We do see a pull-push combo going there, but it did less damage than Zhang Kui is able to sustain up. Meerkat, having that information, is now going to play a little bit more aggressive in lane as there's an invade on the right-hand side with the help of Bastet. Red buff will still go to the Rambozos. Damage down to Grishank. He's going to go invisible. Defender of Olympus is channeled, and Chris Pocket is definitely going to need to reposition. He'll be able to blink away. Yeah, just for safety. Meerkat doesn't want to get caught out in the jungle. The red buff will go to Rambozos. The question is, can they pick it up? Probably not.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to get their they're just not. They're going to be zoned out completely. Also, mid camps are spawning. You need to be present for that. Chris Pocket positioning himself between a mage and an Athena gets taunted. No follow up from Radio Mist. Could have been very, very deadly, especially considering Radio Mist has his ultimate. Good ult from Chris Pocket. That's going to be an ult and a knock up into 3. Chris Pocket needs to get away, but good snipes coming out along with Radio Mist. That's going to be another kill for him.
Oh,
Chris
no.
Pocket down. That's the support. And now Paradox stuck completely. Grishank also in trouble. Ult's away. That's a win for Acceleration in a very, very big way. Left camps are going to go to them along with that kill. Those 2 kills. And they're going to back nurse their wounds.
That was just strange to watch. I mean, Chris Pocket, it clearly looked like someone was like, yo, go in, go in. He walked up, he waited for Acceleration to close around him, Cataclysm Shockwave, took a lot of damage for it, but that's totally to be expected, and then he died and there wasn't sufficient follow-up.
Yep.
And that's what's weird. I mean, I don't hate the decision to bait a fight. It was definitely telegraphed, and he was like, alright, if I stand here, they have to come on me, I can Cataclysm, I can Shockwave, etc., etc., and then Paradox backflips early and lands in the cat block. That's actually the most unfortunate thing I have ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, that's them's the break sometimes, unfortunately. Yeah. Acceleration turning this one around. 4 kills to 0 as we approach the 8-minute mark, folks. Again, very small lead, but that lead gets extrapolated as we are closer and closer to 0. Aduro gonna outlive that Razor Slash coming out from the Bastet, so a couple of dots, but not too much. And solo lane doing nothing.
Yeah, solo lane's not really going to be a factor. Boulder did come out, just rolling through the lane like a tumbleweed. Meerkat will be able to clear eventually. Looking at the lead, though, I mean, 2,000 gold, 3,000 experience is definitely a nice transition lead into the mid-game. It's where you can start to make stuff happen, look for objectives, and I think Acceleration has put themselves in a good spot. They just need to grow their lead from here. 2,000 gold is, well, 1,700 is nice, but you want to hit 3,000 before you can really have an impact in the mid-game.
Bastet, right side. Meerkat gets card. Bastet has to play safe. Jelly wanted to make something happen onto Grishank, especially since she's got a little bit of a lead, but just not able to do much. Chris Pocket trying to come over here and help out his Agni. Tosses a good shield. That gets Aduro out of there. No problem. Loki's been heard. Radio miss. The target stunned out by Agni. Basic attack with the dot from Loki. Not enough. Radio missed. Already full HP. Thanks to that Raheel. And that's going to be that.
Grishank just having pen boots right now isn't really able to get the damage that he wants, and honestly, I mean, I like Loki jungle in some situations, but Agni is not necessarily the right mage to follow up off of it, because while Agni has a lot of damage in his kit, it's not instantaneous burst.
Yes.
It's over the space of 4 casts, 4 seconds. So it can take some time to get out. Rolling into the middle lane is Chris Pocket. Have we seen a Neath ult yet this game?
No Neath ult. Neath is already level 10. So that's 5 levels that we haven't seen a Neath ult. Missed opportunities, I would say.
I mean, yeah, you just kind of want to force that. That said, I mean, once again, the Agni doesn't really synergize with that Neath. Like, Kukulkan? Poseidon? I don't know. The Agni needs to hit his entire kit. Yeah, but
Aduro really likes Agni. It's a little safer than some of the other stuff Aduro plays, like Isis.
Well, Paradox could be in trouble left-hand lane. He's going to land, get jumped on, Cats will come out, and with the Cataclysm to peel, it might not be enough. Third hit will not connect, and peel from Chris Pocket will be good. So nice play there, snipe through the wall, not going to connect either. Aduro is going to land the stun, land the flame wave, but Radio Mist just doesn't really care right now. He is feeling plenty tanky.
Yeah, that's the way Radio Mist got his kill originally, so definitely willing to rotate over and give this a shot. Basically boxing Aduro right here, brings him down to about 65% HP. Already low, but Celestial Beam did a large chunk of this Agni's health. Just has boots. Really no Void Stone, no defenses. That won't really see anything like that. Mid camps, right side, go to Rambozos.
Rambozos going to be able to clean those up. The gold lead has started to stop growing. It's about the same it was 3 minutes ago. Experience staying the same, which is exactly what the Rambozos need to do at a minimum. They just want to turtle at this point. Now, their late game, I mean, Neith's not going to be as strong as Rama, but Loki is just such a potent assassin and a little bit safer in the late game than Bastet is. Agni can do lots of damage to an entire team and is a great character for Divine Ruin, as is Zhonghui. And honestly, I think one of the biggest things is going to be Hercules in the late game isn't necessarily strong. And this doesn't look like the kind of lead in lane to make Hercules strong.
Hercules in the late game is interesting. I won't disagree with your assertion that he's not strong. He's based around displacement and expecting the enemy to hit him, which is stupid. So
yeah,
he's basically about making your enemy make mistakes. If they're in the wrong spot, they're going to die because of a flip and a kick. If you attack them, if you attack Hercules, it's just not a good idea. But Hercules needs to get farmed for that. Chris Pocket caught out in a hairy situation. Ults to get away in a good route from Neath. Famous Eight's in the air, and Paradox actually taking way too much damage. But a good unravel should heal him back up in no time.
Damage onto Radio Mist, but not that much coming out from Enduro yet. Again, he's in a little bit of a low ebb in his build. Jelly will receive Defender of Olympus, Radio Mist repositioning. Neathult comes through. Grishank is going to destroy Jelly. Vanish picking up the kill with the DOT. Now backing out, and that's all she wrote. You know, maybe you could see a Gold Fury here. Doesn't land the Spirit. But, Assassinate, Radio Mist, dead. Good all. Great job holding on to that one. Now damage on the collateral. He's going to be able to back away. Could be a Gold Fury call. They've got Loki's backstab passive, which is really nice against Gold Fury.
And this Gold Fury is going to be really important for Rambozos to get an acceleration to steal away. Good extra damage coming out from Loki onto this target. Collateral doesn't quite make it. Rambozos secure the Gold Fury. They even secure the enemy support. That's going to be a lead change, folks. Blue team leading by about 1,000. It's not a big lead, but it's a big swing. They've now swung 3,000 gold, so Rambozos trying to make things happen here in Game 2.
Well, you know, the biggest thing I want to mention, you kept mentioning Chris Pocket's mechanics, and there he fired a shockwave to interrupt Athena's dash. That is a massive level of mechanical precision. Currently holding the dual lane is the Paradox. Wants to find a way to heal up with his Unravel, and will be able to get there. Famous Eight is going to respect spacing and back off as Chris Pocket rotates back into the lane. In the solo lane, Meerkat looks like he's getting ganked. His Exorcism is on cooldown, and he's going to immediately pop Recall Demons. That's not going to do enough against the Cats, and I think Meerkat is going to be dead here.
Grishank here in lane, just a little bit too late. 3 people surrounding that Zhonghui. Not much the fat man can do right there, so he's going to go ahead and fall to the wayside. 14.5 minutes in. Acceleration leads and kills 5-3, but due to some recent situations, Rambozos turn it around. That kill into the solo lane is going to tie the game up, though. 300 on the way of blue team. That is a nothing lead. So tie game for all intents and purposes here in Game 2 of your 4th week of Challenger Cup Finals.
Now, I want to talk about the intensive purpose that Grishank used to rotate over to the solo lane. He basically is there to just hold the creeps, stop the farm from going to tower, and maybe stop Oddtunes from being a jerk in the jungle. Oddtunes is going to try. Really wants the blue, is going to be able to get that one there with his driving strike, but now going to be caught out. Boulder comes out, Shockwave Assassinate. Hercules.
Yep.
Thought he was a stronger man than he actually is. Here comes the Bastet. Big damage onto Aduro. Nice shell coming out. Damage onto the cat. She's going to jump away. Collateral. He's going to look to get out too. Snipe comes through. Not going to connect. No kill there for Radio Mist.
And that's the change right there, Cred. Bastet was never played. And then she was played a lot. For no reason. I think it was Laz's, correct me if I'm wrong, that just decided to... Shing. That just decided to play Bastet.
Are we talking before or after the rework?
After the rework.
I think you're talking before, because after the rework, like, Bastet's always been good, and people always liked her, but she operated like Lara Croft from Tomb Raider 1998, and then after the Paradox in the left-hand lane, a lot of trouble. Cat block
just dead.
Again! My man cannot catch a break, but Jelly's gonna also get taken down by Grishank, because he can't catch a break either. Collateral gonna try and ult out. The burst is good. The DOT will get the kill, even if he didn't get away, or even if he did get away. So, she got a usability buff, and that made people play her, and now it's just sort of like, you can play her if you're really good at her, but she doesn't have CC, and she doesn't have instantaneous bursts like Loki, Circuit, etc. And the cat block, while it's incredible, and Jelly's gotten hit twice this game, unreliable at best.
Yeah, at best. But
yeah.
my main point, as Grishang takes these left-hand cams, Radio Mist not going to really dance with him. Steals away one Harpy with Celestial Beam, so 1 for 1 on the left side. So Bastet has come and gone. Recently, she got changed, which is part of the reason we don't see her as much anymore. You can now be CC'd after you jump. That's exactly what happened, and why we didn't see a double kill go on in that engagement in the right-hand side. She got CC'd by Agni, had to jump back. If this was the previous iteration of Bastet, that would have been a much different situation.
Right, and that was a change that came out before the usability buff, where they redid her precast, postcast, and made her much more... feel much better to play, is really what it came down to, and be a little bit more responsive. And then after they did that, they realized, oh wow, this is actually OP when the character responds to what you're pressing, because original Bastet, you jump in and you'd be like mashing your 4 for 2 seconds and then it would come out and you're like, cats, what are you doing? Stop it. Honestly, they were much more like real cats. You just couldn't get them to do what you wanted.
Dogs roll, play Fenrir.
Yeah,
two
dogs
people
are the best.
2 people going over here for the blue buff on the long lane. Loki gonna help out, so they're gonna share this experience with the 3 of them. Experience leading the way of Rambozos very well now. Graph really tells an interesting story. You see the beginning of the game, Acceleration doing well around the 9-ish, 10-ish minute mark, and then Rambozos just recently leading by about 2100 experience, and they're making use of that lead by just pressuring. Oddtunes out of his lane, lost his tower, almost doesn't mind. Here to provide some pressure in the middle lane, and doing a decent job. No dive from Rambozos just yet.
In the middle lane, some clear coming out. 5 members. I mean, honestly, this is going to end up being a team fight. Nice 3-man taunt off of the preemptive strike. Snipe comes through. Boulder as well. Big line damage, but a weave is popped, and the damage coming out from Zhonghui and Agni is absolutely destructive. Did a Hercules just die? And now damage on the famous Hate going to be rolling into tower. But the front line is dead. Rom's up in the air looking for Meerkat. Second shot. Third shot. Oh, nails it. Famous with the famous kill. He's going to pay for that.
Neath charging the shot, wants to hit Famous, does! Not enough follow-up, not going to dive 2 towers deep. Rambozos showing fantastic restraint right there. Instead, they're going to push the minions on the mid-tower and again pick up the gold for you. Here's Bastet looking at her inventory. No Hog 3, rooted, going to jump, and Paradox hits him with the Unravel. Great play coming out from Paradox. That is a second Gold Fury of the game. 19.5 minutes in, 2,900 gold. Rambozos have officially turned this game around and are definitely in the lead.
Can we talk about Neath real quick? Because 2 things. First of all, y'all forgot about weaves. And what I mean is specifically that's, wow. What's her one? Spirit Arrow is going to hit for, let's call it 300. But when you pop a weave, it's 300 in a circle AoE and 300 in a line AoE, and it can double hit. So that happened on top of a Cataclysm while Zhonghui and Agni Bombs were raining down, which is incredible damage and is why Hercules and Athena died. It's also a root which doesn't suffer or create diminishing returns, so it held them in place after the Cataclysm, which was huge. And honestly, in general, when it comes to being an ability-based damage character, similar to like Thor, who does his damage through Mjolnir's Attunement and Berserker Barrage, Neath's pretty good. Like, if you added up her abilities and their ratios, you'd probably be surprised to find that her kit dump is really good damage. It's so Odin just got released. Neath's kit dump is gonna do more damage than Odin's kit dump.
Different deliveries, which is what makes them completely different.
Totally.
More aggression coming out from Paradox. Famous Hate already about 55%. But yeah, I mean, Neath is not exactly Uller in the sense of her burst damage, but her abilities are important because they provide so much control. Uller's 3-1 combo isn't gonna help your team murder your target, but Neath can slow you 2 different ways, lower your attack speed.
Wait, that's a fire giant at the 21-minute mark. Completely snuck out. Defender is coming through, and it looks like the response is a little bit too late. Chris Pocket might fall. Jelly getting turned on really big. We'll be able to jump back. Reminiscent of old Bastet. Nice disruption from Maduro. Dash aggressively, but with a shell, he's not going to be able to find that much damage. Now Chris Pocket dashed into a corner. Aduro will use bees to refresh his cooldowns and just casually walk away. Chris Pocket is dead to rights.
That's okay.
It's a small price to play.
That is okay. Small price to play for sure. These guys are aggressing onto a tier 2 tower with a tier 1 alive.
That's Hercules being Hercules. He actually could get caught out for this. So Grishank's ult is down. Decoy block's not gonna be good, but slowed out. Not slowed by the card, and he'll be okay. Actually, that play was really bad.
The tower.
Yeah, and so Oddtunes needed to tank the tower for his team, and he wasn't there to do that. They didn't get the outer tower, and that was a big mistake.
Yeah, that was just... Cret, I honestly think Acceleration didn't realize that the tower was alive.
Maybe?
I think it was just a miscalculation, to be completely honest with you. Because... Acceleration has proven to be a great team. Sometimes that happens. That's a lot of damage coming out onto the Hercules. Snipe's going to miss from Radio Miss. Good ultimate from Grishank. And
left lane, Paradox,
tanky one.
And a lot of... Alright, he's done. Yeah, so 3-man gank on the right-hand lane, 3-man gank on the left-hand lane. Turn it right around. Take out the ADC, which can be very... I mean, 15% structure damage on the Fire Giant buff, along with 50 physical power, which is... comparatively more than magic power gives. It's better for physical characters because the conversion ratio is roughly 2-to-1. Nice taunt in from Collateral, and Rom's here. Famous Hate interrupted a little bit. Damage coming out. Loki's still lurking in the jungle. Basically, my point is they killed the person whose job it is to kill towers, and that's going to sandbag Rambozos' ability to push with the Fire Giant.
Very good analysis right there, Cret. One thing I really do want to point out by the Rambozos, they got that shell online.
Yeah.
And that is almost going to mitigate what Acceleration can really do to stop this. So, I really like that choice, Grishank with the fist, something that we don't like on anybody but Loki for the most part, sometimes a nemesis here and there. But we discussed this a couple of matches ago. I like the fist pickup, but it's all on Chris Pocket now. Chris Pocket, we said it was okay for him to die before. Meerkat in a lot of trouble. He might be the one dying right now. Ultimate coming out. 5 members in red in the middle lane. Turning around is Rambozos. That's a stun. That's a kill. Adero's going to pick one up. Collateral going to be down. That is a dead support, which means it could be a dead Gold Fury. Only one Hog 3 on the side of Acceleration alive still. It's going to be on Jelly. Progressing onto the mid tower is Rambozos. 2 in the fight. 1 in the air. Famous Hate trying to take out Adero in the back line. Gonna miss it while Meerkat takes out the jungler. 2, 3 still here in blue. 4 still here in blue. 3 allowed here by Acceleration. Rambozos take out the left Phoenix. PS Loki split pushing, and Oddtunes is gonna go down to... nobody quite yet, but Famous Hate taken down by Grishank. Grishank slowly and sneakily running things that he should not be allowed to do. Taking out left Phoenix, taking out mid ADC, just absolutely on a tear. Acceleration down now by about 9,000 gold. Rambozos still aggressing and suppressing anything Acceleration has to give out right now.
They're going to be looking for the Phoenix here. Shell is popped, and they just want to go in, but who's the target? It's going to be the bird. They're looking for the Phoenix, trying to unload it with damage. Grishank is going to be the best person to kill it. Phoenix goes down. They use their shell for that. Totally fine. No deaths. Can we talk about what just happened as a nice stun comes out to actually not slow down Oddtunes? Meerkat's running away. He should be okay. He does have a slow if he does the 360 slow option. Maybe even no scope. That was a 3v5 to start. Neath was not there, Loki was not there, and they get a pick on a Hercules. And then it's a 4v5 fight, and they get a kill in a tower, and then Loki rotates in. Absolutely incredible. Paradox could be in trouble here, though, in the front line. It's going to be Paradox taken down by Jelly, but the dive on Collateral. You're not supposed to dive Athena, and yet it works out. Aduro's going to go back and regroup with his team. Famous Hate on his way back in. Looks like Rambozos still want this Gold Fury, but they're going to be relying on Grishank for the damage. Meerkat's going to pop his heavenly agility, look to back out. Sprint used by Famous Hate. Decoy tries to block. Grishank out of his stealth, in a lot of trouble. Assassinate away. Snipe comes through, only can hit Chris Pocket. Weakening Curse as well to chase. Should be fine.
They should dive this. This is very good for Acceleration, and that's exactly what they're going to do, folks. Aduro taken down by Famous Hate's artillery, and Chris Pocket hit by the third one. Oddtunes going to go ahead and take that kill as well. Beautiful small detail, taking that turret for Radio Mist to walk on through. Acceleration turning their eyes to the Fury of Gold. So polished is it before the game, and that's going to be a good objective for them after the fight. Great job.
My man Grishank sees that everything is going bad in his lane. He's like, right, they're dead. I can't help. Even if they're not dead, I can't help. So he walks over to the Fire Giant, drops a Sentry Ward, goes to the right-hand lane, clears 2 waves just to get some pressure. The Titan is at 50% health. You do have the split push pressure from Loki, which we should explain. Loki's split push is unique because, first of all, he's good in 1v1. He's an assassin. That's his job. So the person you send to stop him has a good chance of dying. And he does his split push invisibly. You sit in the jungle, invis into lane, drop your decoy, and walk away. Nothing visible on the minimap, so you just have to pay attention to minion flow. F-Dot, what are your thoughts on this game going forward? What do you think Acceleration can do to hold out?
Acceleration really needs to look for the smaller wins, and one of the biggest things is if Rambozos start to take the lead, if Rambozos let their lead run away with them, then Acceleration needs to make them pay for it, like we just saw. If they can redo that over and over again, that'll bode very well for the team.
All right, well, grouping up in the middle lane is Rambozos. Boulder comes out, some damage on the Paradox. He'll be able to heal that one back up. Meerkat stuns out. Odd 2's Chris Pocket rolling out, rolling in. Heavenly Agility used. Shell used defensively, but it's not going to connect with the carries, which is what matters. Recall Demons are flying everywhere, and it looks like they're just going to be able to target the Titan here, but a few too many bombs used. There's one left on the Titan. Dash in. Titan falls. Chaos is going to lose today. Rambozos take the victory 2-0. Revenge by proxy on Vicious and Delicious. Acceleration, second place for our first week as a team is still incredible. I loved what I saw. These games were honestly pretty even.
Yeah, I think we had a great show today. We just got to watch some quality Smite with some quality teams, really even matchups, no real stomps. And I'm really proud of the teams that came out. No Mr. Rogers here. Just excited to see some good Smite.
Mama Dot is proud. You heard it here first, folks. Rambozos, congratulations on their victory. The Paradox, aka Ben, Chris Pocket, Aduro, Grishank, and Meerkat will be your victors for today. Acceleration taking second place. Let me take a quick look at these brackets. Third place goes to 5 Angry Ben, making their return to the semifinals, and actually placing this week a Quiet Storm in 4th. Thank you all for coming out. We've had a wonderful tournament. Wonderful Challengers Cup. We'll be back again tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern, which is noon Central European Summer Time. For me, F-Dot, Cooper, Counter Helix, Toffee, Moji, everyone involved with the Challenger Cup, and all our teams, thank you for coming out. Thank you for watching us, and we'll see you tomorrow.